Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our 2014 NFL Draft Special. We're going inside the war room with the New York Jets. We're going to take a look at their team needs to see what players could be possible selections to help fill those needs. But first, let's start off by taking a look at the upcoming picks that they have in this year's draft. The Jets have 11 picks in this upcoming draft. They have 2 4th-rounders and 4 6th-rounders. All in all, that's a lot of opportunity to get better. Now let's look at where do they have to get better, and right off the bat, the passing game. I believe in Geno Smith, but they have to get better around him, and bringing in Eric Decker was a big step in the right direction, but more is needed. The Jets also have to get better on the corners. Losing Antonio Cromartie and losing out on some big-time free agents puts the depth in question on the edges, and I also think they have to get deep in the trenches on both sides of the ball. That's offensive line and defensive line. They also have to increase the athleticism at linebacker to be better able to rush the passer and play in space. And finally, the offense as a whole has to get much more dynamic if they want to play winning football in 2014. Now here are some quick notes. Number 1, the picks are based off my rankings of these prospects. And number 2, this is the Jets portion of my total 7-round mock draft that I did. And to view my big board, you can visit our website at footballgameplan.com/draft. The Jets have to go receiver very early, and Odell Beckham out of LSU is one of the most explosive players in the draft. That reminds me a lot of the Giants' Victor Cruz and what he brings to the table athletically. And because of his versatility, he can play on the outside as well as in the slot equally as effective. In the 2nd round, I'm going defense with the selection of cornerback Pierre Desir out of Division II Lindenwood. He's a big cornerback at 6'2", 200 pounds that's fluid enough to match up versus any wide receiver with ball skills to make life difficult for opposing quarterbacks. He'll definitely excel in press coverage with those long arms, and that's music to the ears of Rex Ryan. In round 3, I tapped the receiver well one more time with Paul Richardson out of Colorado. He has that quote-unquote deep speed that you look for, but where he separates himself from other speed demons is that, number 1, he can actually catch the football with his hands, and number 2, he's fearless going across the middle, that's sacrificing for balls, and also making sure he secures the catch as he's getting hit. I think the Jets need a breakaway threat in the backfield, which is why I believe Baylor's running back Lache Seastrunk makes a lot of sense for this football team. He reminds me a lot of former Raiders running back speedster Napoleon Kaufman, and the fact that he can carry the load and also can take it the distance on any given play. Remember, the Jets have to increase the athleticism at linebacker, and James Gale from Virginia Tech is a player I'm a big fan of. He can play with his hand off the ground, he's comfortable playing in space, and the most important thing he can do well is get to the quarterback. Going back to the offensive side of the ball, I'm giving Geno Smith an additional weapon in the passing game with tight end Arthur Lynch out of Georgia. He's a tight end that's athletic enough to be moved around the formation, but also one that can block very well in the running game. That just gives offensive coordinator Marty Mornhinweg much more flexibility in his double tight end sets. Adding depth in the trenches was one of my key points, and defensive end Kobe Way out of Buffalo gives the Jets an underrated defensive lineman that can fit well in that rotation because he can excel in stopping the run and also collapse in the pocket. Now, Khalil Mack, the linebacker, got all of the headlines and all of the accolades, but Kobe Way is a darn good football player in his own right. Untapped potential here for Rex Ryan if he can get Aaron Lynch out of South Florida to surpass the level he played at when he was a freshman at Notre Dame. The Jets would have themselves a steal. Now, Lynch has the athleticism, but is still a bit raw from a football standpoint, but the potential is definitely there, enough to take a chance on him in the later part of the draft. I'm a big fan of the instincts of Ricardo Allen, the 5'9", 193-pound cornerback from Purdue. Here's a guy that can play man or zone and isn't afraid of getting his nose dirty in the running game. He'll be an excellent depth player in the secondary for the Jets. Bryn Renner out of North Carolina had an up and down career out there in Chapel Hill. The down part was mainly due to injury, but his passing skills are where they need to be, and I think he's an upgrade at the third quarterback spot over Matt Sims. So I think he can come in, compete, and win that job and help the Jets solidify that depth chart at the quarterback position. And in the 7th round, I went with Austin Wentworth out of Fresno State. He can play guard or tackle. He's also very versatile. He played well in two types of offenses, the power running game under Pat Hill and the spread zone attack under Tim DeRuiter. So again, he would instantly help build that depth along that offensive line and upgrade the athleticism. So here's a recap of my Jets mock draft. As you can see, we upgraded the offensive side of football for Geno Smith with 2 receivers, a tight end, and an explosive running back in Lache Seastrunk, and also got better defensively by bringing in guys that are athletic on the outside and depth at the cornerback position. Keep an eye on Ricardo Allen, and Pierre Desir, in my opinion, has stud written all over him, plays a lot like Charles Tillman of the Chicago Bears. And I want to give a huge shout out to Jet fan forums for always showing football game plan support.